League Battle decks have consistently been some of the best products available for anyone interested in the Pokemon TCG's competitive scene. Whether you're just starting out or are a veteran of the game, these decks offer the most cost-efficient route to getting staple cards or fleshing out a meta deck. Looking at this one specifically, the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX League Battle deck comes with a 2-2 line of the Rapid Strike V and VMAX Urshifus, a 2-2 line of Chinchino, a 3-2 line of Rapid Strike Octillery, 1 Galarian Zigzagoon, 3 Rapid Strike Phalanx, 2 Boss's Orders, 1 Cheryl, 2 Escape Rope, 2 Evolution Incense, 1 Fan of Waves, 2 Karina's Focus, 3 Level Ball, 3 Marnie, 1 Ordinary Rod, 1 Pal Pad, 3 Professor's Research, 4 Quick Ball, 1 Scoop Up Net, 2 Switch, 1 Tool Scrapper, 2 Tower of Waters, 4 Fighting Energy, 4 Rapid Strike Energy, and 4 Stone Energy. As expected, you've got almost everything you need to build a competitive deck right out of the box. But I am going to ding it a bit for only including a 2-2 line of the actual deck boss. It's not really consistent enough to anchor the deck, so the list ends up being all over the place and compromising in weird places. Going all in on a Rapid Strike box approach probably would have been the better call here. Still, it's a good stack of cards, and while some of the ratios included might disappoint, the deck boss itself does anything but. Rapid Strike Urshifu is a deck boss with a ton of selling points and very few drawbacks. Spec-wise, Urshifu VMAX is a fighting type. It's effectively a stage 1. It has an above average 330 HP, it carries an extremely relevant psychic weakness, and a retreat cost of 2 keeps it fairly mobile. And of course, you can't ignore the Rapid Strike badge and all the support that entails. In terms of what it can do, Urshifu VMAX has 2 attacks, and they are both amazing. Gale Thrust costs 1 fighting energy, and it does 30 damage base plus 120 more if Urshifu moves into the active spot this turn. It's cheap, its condition is pretty easy to meet, and the damage output is extremely good for cost, though it notably misses a 2-hit KO on any relevant VMAX that doesn't sport a fighting weakness. The Gmax Rapid Flow costs 2 fighting energies and 1 colorless energy, and it does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon at the cost of discarding all energies attached to Urshifu. It is expensive on paper, but the cost is actually pretty easy to meet, and obviously it allows for some serious bench sniping. In terms of competitive potential, there's a little room for discussion here. Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX is a force to be reckoned with. A fantastic offensive typing, high value attacks, and access to the wide pool of Rapid Strike support means that it's going to be a meta threat for as long as it's legal. And if I had to highlight one factor that makes Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX so good, I would actually have to go with its attack costs. A Gale Thrust is so cheap that you can start smashing stuff fairly easily, and it allows Urshifu to act as a powerful secondary attacker in any deck with the space to run the Odd Fighting Energy or the Rainbow Energy of the day. Gmax Rapid Flow does have a steep cost, but access to Rapid Strike Energy effectively makes it a 2-attachment attack. And for the very discerning player, the 1 colorless energy in the attack cost opens up Urshifu to a lot of energy acceleration options. And now that we've got a good idea of what Urshifu can do, let's have a look at 3 different ways that you can build a deck around it. If you're looking for the most straightforward way to build a Rapid Strike Urshifu deck, then yes, you want to shell out for 2 of the League Battle decks and build around the basic Rapid Strike toolbox. Urshifu VMAX is your main attacker, and paired with Octillery, you'll have everything you need to get the big bear rolling. This build prioritizes Gale Thrust over Gmax Rapid Flow, letting you chain together switching options to put big dents in the enemy targets, only using the latter attack when it's time to clean up. This build offers a little disruption and a bit of healing as well, so it definitely has the ability to play a longer game, but it's also extremely linear and lacks the immediate damage output that other VMAXs can offer. If you're looking for a slightly more advanced build of this particular deck, then dumping auxiliary and adjusting your supporter ratios can let you fit in the wildly popular Inteleon engine, though be warned, as that engine does have the propensity to make decks brick, if only slightly more often. Urshifu VMAX has a fantastic offensive typing, but it's also got a pretty relevant weakness. Psychic types like Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX and Mew VMAX can easily KO Urshifu and can tank its hits pretty easily thanks to their fighting type resistance. So we need something to even the playing field, and Galarian Moltres V is the right bird for the job. This build uses Galarian Moltres V as a powerful check against Psychic type decks, but it also uses the Burning Bird of Vengeance as an energy acceleration engine. Thanks to the Dire Flame Wings ability, Moltres can accelerate dark energy from the discard pile to itself, and pairing that with Energy Switch means that you can help pay for G-Max Rapid Flow. The other thing this deck does a bit differently is foregoing the Rapid Strike toolbox in favor of a Cinccino engine. Cinccino allows you to cycle through your deck while ditching resources that are less than useful at the time, and you can make the most of this engine by discarding dark energy for Moltres to accelerate back. This is arguably the most flexible build of Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, but the deck does struggle at times without a guaranteed way to search out Rapid Strike energy. So look to set a slower and more calculated pace in your games with this particular build. And finally, on my personal favorite, the expanded front, we have what I like to call the Thundering Fist. Experimenting with lightning builds of Urshifu was popular right before the last standard rotation, and the release of Rapid Strike Zeraora V gave our Kung Fu Bear a savage partner in the business of obliterating people's benches. The main selling point here is Tapu Koko Prism Star, which can accelerate lightning energy to 2 of your benched Pokemon at the cost of popping itself and going to the Lost Zone. This means that you can help pay for Zeraora's expensive and destructive attack a bit easier, and thanks to that colorless cost in G-Max Rapid Flow, you can also get that off pretty easily as well. Straight up, this deck is all in on abusing bench sniping. By chaining together G-Max Rapid Flows and Cross Fists, you can knock out multiple Pokemon in rapid succession. And thanks to plenty of damage modifiers, you can easily KO benched multi-prizers. And it's even conceivable to have a 6-prize turn if you play your cards right. This particular build does take more of a toolbox approach, allowing you to search for whatever you need when you need it, but in all honesty, a particularly bad shuffle can leave you in a tight spot, and prizing your one Tapu Koko Prism Star is definitely bad news bears. If you want to see some of these builds in action, stick around until the end of the video, or check the description now for links to some sample gameplay. Otherwise, let's wrap things up and see if this League Battle deck is one to pick up or pass on. So, what's the final verdict on the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX League Battle deck, aside from it being an unwieldy mouthful? Well, let's start by looking at what this product does right. Like I said at the start of the video, the great thing about League Battle decks is that they're just so cost efficient. Based on the list of competitive staples alone, this is a fantastic product. And even factoring the awkward 2/2 deck boss line, you're getting good value because one copy of Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX could easily go for $20 Canadian before this product was announced, with the V going for roughly $5 Canadian. I've also got to give this deck points for articulating a coherent strategy. I personally dislike things like the V battle decks because they tend to just give you a pile of cards and top it off with a single shiny copy of a Pokemon V, with no real strategy to build around or play to. But this deck offers a great snapshot of the Rapid Strike playstyle, and in less competitive settings, I actually think the base product is a wonderful tool for learning the game beyond a beginner level. But this product isn't without flaws, and the big one is that 2/2 lineup that fronts the box. Yes, you're getting 4 shiny cards with your product instead of 3 like the old tag team League Battle decks, and yes, the MSRP is the same, but that doesn't change the fact that it's an unworkable ratio for anything resembling serious play, and it is a subtle way of coercing people into doubling up their purchase. Now, don't get me wrong, even buying 2 of these is still better value than trying to buy the singles would have been before it was announced, but I don't think anyone would have minded a $5 or even a $10 bump in price for at least one additional copy of Urshifu V. The only other thing I'd have to mildly ding this den for is not including the Rapid Strike Inteleon package. I get why that's the case, what with the Inteleon VMAX League Battle deck coming out a few months back, but still, I think it is a missed opportunity to make those busted amphibians a bit more affordable than they currently are. So, at the end of the day, should you pick up the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX League Battle deck? Well, yeah. In terms of raw dollar value, it knocks it out of the park. And just like with the Pikarom and Reshizard League Battle decks from a while back, this gives you a pretty easy in to one of the most meta-defining archetypes at the moment. You realistically don't even need to supplement this with a trainer's toolkit if you don't want to, because the singles required to build out most of the standard Urshifu lists right now would actually cost you less than the price of the toolkit. And honestly, as much as I do criticize the thing for its stingy deck boss ratio, I certainly didn't hesitate to buy 2 of these, and honestly, I doubt most people will either. So this is going to be a solid 4 out of 5 for me. But what do you guys think? Are you going to pick up this League Battle deck, or do you have your sights set on something else? Did the designers knock it out of the park with this one, or do you think the deck list could actually have been better? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And that's going to wrap it up for us today. If you're looking to take any of the upgraded deck lists for a spin, I've put them in the pinned comment below, or you can find them on my Twitter page at SealedOnlyPokey. And if you want to see any of those deck lists in action, you can click the links in the description below to jump straight into the fray. And finally, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Deck Boss, where we take the brother bear with serious anger management issues for a spin. And until next time, guys, take it easy.